breaking down this whole feud between Nene and Porsha. It just exploded in the last couple of days. I'm going to tell you how in just 1 second. Get into this video.
What you're giving, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business.
Alright, it's your boy RHOA. Welcome back to the channel. As you guys know, I talk all things pop culture. I love everything Bravo. And we're talking today the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 11 going into the reunion. And I want to break down something that just recently happened via YouTube. We got to talk about it because it's kind of crazy, and I want to get you guys' opinion on exactly what's going on in this whole beef with Nene and Porsha. Okay, as you guys know, over the past weekend, Nene and Porsha both released text messages from each other. You know, it's gotten a little bit crazy. So in response to the latest round in the beef, as we head into the reunion, you guys know that Nene and Porsha have been beefing over this whole incident of whether or not Porsha recorded that little excerpt that she mentioned in the show about being afraid in the closet and to take her mic off. Now, Nene argues that this is fake, and she also claims on on one of her latest videos that this was recorded later in a studio, and she shows you an example of how that was done.
I'm scared. Get me out of here. She filmed that in the studio. What's where I need it?
Right here.
Which one?
Yeah.
I'm the glue that holds my wig together and I'm the glue that holds my wig together and my family. That's not how I say it.
I'm the glue that holds my wig
and
my family together.
I'm the glue that holds my wig and my family. It doesn't say together.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it?
Okay, so let's get into it. In the video, she gives you guys a play-by-play on exactly how this whole thing could have gone down. Now, Porsha indicates for her, this was real. This was not anything that she taped later. She says that this was basically, you know, it. She said it when she said it. It wasn't like she went back and did it later. Now, what I do know for a fact is, because having been on a reality television show myself, I do know that there are instances where you may be asked to go back in and do some type of voiceover for narration, or because maybe something wasn't clear when you filmed it. And it's not necessarily something that you did not say. It's usually something that you did say that they want clarity on. So this does happen. I know for myself, when I was on the show, I had to go back in and narrate some things that were not something that I actually said, but they were to give you a context for what was actually happening in the scene. So it could have been something that we had filmed a confessional for, but maybe they didn't ask me at the time. So I had to go back in and I had to say, hey, this is what happened at that point in time. And I would just record it via cell phone. You guys don't realize how much of reality television can actually happen after the fact, because a lot of it has to be narrated. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times when you guys see confessionals, you know, you may hear something that's being said in the confessional, but you don't see the person. You're seeing the actions happening on television. Sometimes that could have been recorded either in a studio or done as a voiceover later. Is there anything wrong with this? Absolutely not. Now, the reason why this is done is so that you guys can understand the story a little bit better, or to emphasize a certain point in the story. Now, obviously, the producers wanted to emphasize a certain point in the story because we heard some key elements. We heard Marlo say she's pregnant, and then we heard Porsha say, take my mic off, I'm scared. Then, if we watch the clips from the reunion, we hear Tanya say that her and Marlo had to pry Nene off of Porsha.
Did something happen with your belt?
Me and Marlo jumped up saying, get off of her.
That's a lie.
Don't call me a liar.
So we hear this, so I'm trying to understand what this whole situation is. If you guys go to Nene's YouTube channel and watch her channel, you can see the whole video. It's a scathing video where she kind of basically goes in on all the times that Porsha has either been violent or gone or had an altercation with another cast member. But, you know, in the same respect, I kind of feel like someone could easily do the same thing for Nene. Someone could easily do the same thing with, you know, her getting up in Dwight's face, her, you know, getting up in Kim Zolciak's face, her going off on whatever cast member she was beefing with at the time. Because honestly, I feel like they have both had beef with majority of the cast at several points in time. So I feel like, you know, I don't know if this was a really fair video for her to put out because I do feel like this is something that Porsha could easily do herself as a clapback. You know what I'm saying? But as always, I got to hand it to Nene because she never fails to disappoint and entertain us. So I'm here for all the drama. All right, so that's the end of this video. I really want to get you guys' opinion on what you guys think about that. I want you guys to watch that video on Nene's page. Go subscribe to her page if you haven't. I know y'all feel like I'm an advocate for her and her page, but it's just really informative if you want to know the behind the scenes of what's actually happening on a reality show. And I can also give you guys a different perspective because I too have been on a reality show. So anyway, let me know you guys' thoughts. Do you think it was fair for Nene to put out that video? Do you think that Porsha actually had that happen or she filmed this later? Or do you think she is, you know, telling the truth? Personally, for me, I feel like she is telling the truth, that she actually said it. But I do think that Nene is correct in a certain sense that this could have been recorded later because that does sometimes happen. So once again, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell because I'm coming out with a lot more content. We're going to be talking a lot more about pop culture. I got to get into this Nipsey Hussle thing. But for now, stay tuned for the next video and I will be back at you guys soon.
Given that's how we live it, don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.